Yeah, there we go. There's the hype. We're ready. We're here. We're podcasting. Um, we're back after we said we were gonna. I think we said we were gonna do every week to review it.
That was two
When I
weeks
say
ago.
it, yeah, when I say it, I mean the T20 World Cup. Yeah, we're here now 2 weeks after that one. We missed a fair few games. It's semi-finals time. Yeah, boy. Uh, I guess I'll start off with how I think I normally start off at the moment with these pods is
Mhm.
how have you found the T20 World Cup, Jamie?
So like I watched Andor season two. I finally got around to that, and it
Yeah.
just reminded me what like good media can actually look like.
Yeah.
It's just like the shot composition, the
Yeah.
cinematography. Just like I don't think Star Wars is particularly known for that. I guess it kind of is like that classical sort of retro sci-fi look.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think so. When you say that, I'm thinking of like Empire Strikes Back kind of aesthetic.
Yeah,
Um, but with it feels almost like the technology isn't like superior sci-fi kind of thing, but it's almost kind of like it feels older and clunky. But I don't know.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But then like the prequels sort of weird that up and do make it seem a bit more
Yeah. Futuristic and
futuristic
glitzy and
than
glam.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, but like Andor feels like it marries the two really well.
Yeah. Because there's got to be a crossover.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah. So in answer to my question, you've been enjoying the T20 World Cup.
yeah.
Uh, if no, what if
Let's
any
let's
have you
say
watched?
let's say I've been
Yeah.
having a good time during while the T20
Okay.
World Cup has been on.
So you could say that it's because of the T20 World Cup, but that might be a lie.
You could say that, and it could also be a
Okay.
lie.
Well, luckily we're here to review and talk about the T20 World Cup in a sense. It's semi-finals time. I guess the bit before we'll start before the semi-final chat
Mhm.
is and you watch Hunger Games. You watch Hunger Games?
Yeah.
Yeah, like where they have the bit in the arena where you have like the tributes to the fallen and the cannons fall off,
Mhm.
go off, and in
Yeah.
the background. So we can do a quick tribute in the fact that Australia didn't make it to the Super Eights,
Mhm.
so they can like,
Nice.
which is sad.
Yeah.
Pakistan haven't made it to the semi-finals because they couldn't beat Sri Lanka by a certain number of runs on their last game. Sri Lanka co-host the tournament can get through to semi-finals. Um, I think those are the most notable big names. Am I missing any other cricketing nations that should be there? West Indies
I mean,
did make
obviously
it through.
Zimbabwe.
Zimbabwe, quick note as we talk about a fallen tribute, Zimbabwe have done very well in this T20 World Cup.
Yeah. I think it's a good like way to segue into the actual format of this World Cup
Yeah,
because
yeah.
the secondary group stages is absolute bullshit.
Why is it not quarterfinals?
I even if it's not quarterfinals and you do the groups, why have you
Mm.
done every team that finished first
Yeah,
in one group
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's good, isn't
and
it?
then every team that's finished second in another group? You just
Yeah,
what is the fucking point? It's
it
not
was
like
really
a
cool. Yeah,
esports where you have a losers bracket and like just have
yeah.
another go, try again.
And what I love about this tournament, which is really easy to understand, before we knew who the semi-finalists were, like say on Friday, wherever it was, that teams still didn't know where they were going to be playing their semi-finals or final because certain teams had or hadn't gone
Hmm.
through. Sri Lanka didn't know whether or not they would be actually able to host a semi-final or a final as being the co-host, but now obviously all the final stages are going to be in India.
Mm.
Um, but no, yeah, it's a stupid format. But I will say it's been good to see Zimbabwe, a team like Zimbabwe, do well at this stage because did they beat Australia last time we chatted? I
I
don't
think
know.
so, yeah. I
Yeah.
think they've
But
just
then
beaten them, yeah.
yeah. But then they finished obviously top of the group, which is pretty cool. Well, the first group, which I don't think anyone would have expected. Quick shout out to it got some stats because he's obviously listening. Brian Bennett,
Hmm.
who's the opener for Zimbabwe. Um, he's had a pretty good tournament. So he's played 6 matches, 292 runs, an average of 146, which is pretty good.
That's all right.
Um, if he hadn't been dismissed before he was dismissed in his final game against South Africa, he I think had only been dismissed once. So he would have been averaging 292 for the tournament. So he did pretty good. So it's nice to see players from the smaller nations, associate nations, come through. And I think it's getting to a stage where they very easily are competing with the test teams or the higher test team nations because Zimbabwe are a test team. It just feels like that gap is definitely narrowing. And I mean, you talked about it before how USA got India, 6 down for not many and things like that, and Australia not even be able to make it out of the group. Um, so I don't know, it's cool to see.
Yeah, that's probably the one positive from having World Cups every like 2 weeks is that these smaller nations can play the more established teams more often
Yeah,
because they're not going to be playing them in like the off season when the World Cup's not on
no,
because that's
yeah,
not going to get you any money. But
yeah,
I just wish it wasn't in a format that just sort of fucks them off around. Like
yeah,
New Zealand go into that group of every other group winner, and you can't
yeah,
expect them to beat South Africa, India, or West Indies, really. But if you
yeah,
just give them a quarterfinal or like mix the groups up with first and seconds,
as it should
then
be.
yeah, then you feel like they've got more of a chance to
Yeah,
do more upsets. And I think they
yeah,
came close in a couple of games, but
yeah. Um, like they played well against South Africa in the final game. I think South Africa were just playing it easy. Like they rested a fair few of their main starters. But Raza played really well. He's obviously their captain. I can't remember who else. Who else did they have in their group if they finished top? Um, should maybe remember this, but I can't really remember who were in the groups.
Sim was Sri Lanka and Australia, wasn't it?
Yeah, but then obviously in the Super 8 group, they would have played obviously South Africa, India, wouldn't it be? It would have been India, and whoever the other one was.
Windies.
Windies, yeah. Yeah. So you could say there's probably some a winnable game in there or two for them, but is what is. But I imagine they'll probably keep going from strength to strength as they go forward. I think West Indies also did pretty well, and I think they could have. I don't think it was a sure thing they would just beat India yesterday. They've had a very good group stage. No, was it? They had a very good group stage and an okay Super Eights. Like Hetmeyer, was a really good batter for them at three. Was giving a fair old whack. They like in the game against Africa. I think they were like 100 for seven or
Mhm.
100 for eight, and they had still ended up getting like 180 or something. That kind of vibe. So I think they did really well, and I think they'll probably be disappointed not to do better against India. And then Australia were bad. Um, but yeah, we've got our semi-finalists: England, South Africa, New Zealand, India. Do you think that's fair? Would that be kind of a predictable final four before we started?
I think three of the four for sure. I think New
Mm,
Zealand's the only
yeah,
one that you like maybe, but like I think that fourth
yeah,
spot is open, especially with like Australia's like team problems and
being
just whether
average.
whether they're
Any
actually
good?
good enough, which is also another reason why this Super 8
Yeah.
bullshit is a bit annoying because that fourth spot could
Yeah,
have gone to like a Zimbabwe or a Sri Lanka if
yeah.
it had been, organized a bit more
I just
sanely. But
yeah.
yeah,
Again, I know they could have done it differently, whatever, but it was all set up nicely for quarterfinals. I mean, yesterday you had it effectively a quarterfinal between Windies and India, but that was still within the Super Eights. And it's not that like the Super Eights are in one single group, is it? It's Super Eights, but two separate groups. So
yeah.
it's like you're not going to put them all in the same one, and then it's the
Mhm.
top four. But whatever. Um,
I mean, it's obviously for more coverage and more money. Like
yeah,
you're
of course,
getting
yeah,
3 games each for the Super 8s versus
yeah,
4 total for a
yeah,
quarterfinal.
yeah. Money, money,
And
money, money,
yeah,
money, money.
and you kind of assume they've done this in a way so that Pakistan and India might be able to meet in a
Oh yeah, of
semi
course,
or a
yeah.
final.
Yeah, because if India had, sorry, if Pakistan had found a way, because the thing, like New Zealand and Pakistan had a wash. a rain washout on their first Super 8 game. So they're both on 1 point. And then New Zealand and Pakistan both lost to England, which left them both on 1 point. And then I can't remember who beat who. Sri Lanka. So they both beat Sri Lanka, but Pakistan had to beat Sri Lanka by, I think, at least 46 runs or something. And obviously they didn't do that. So that's where I kind of would question whether New Zealand are up there with the others because they've kind of got through on the same number of points as Pakistan, but just through net run rate. They lost a game they probably shouldn't have lost to England. Um, I guess would never be able to know how they would have compared to Pakistan because of the washout. Um, that's my kind of preview of New Zealand. I don't think they beat South Africa, is my preview. Um, they've
I
got,
do anyone
I don't think so.
like their biggest threat
So
is
yeah,
probably India, and they've beaten them in the Super 8.
thrashed them.
Yeah, so like maybe like England are weird.
England are so we'll get. I mean, we'll talk about
Yeah,
England, but they
but
are
like
weird.
in terms of teams that could potentially beat South Africa, you obviously don't think England are going to beat them because South Africa are
So
much
they will.
better. Exactly.
Yeah,
It's like
that's
England
where it's
are
going.
shit, but they still win. But I don't, which doesn't like make sense for me in cricket.
No, doesn't at all. Do you want to talk about England first? I mean, I think I've done my New Zealand preview. But I don't have, I don't, because I'm not obviously as invested as much in the other teams. I've not watched as many because,
Mhm,
they're on at times when I actually have to work.
mhm.
Um, and you obviously same as you. So it's like I've not followed every game. Like the most I saw about that Zimbabwe South Africa game was the reel I sent you of the batter trying to hit it with one
100,
hand,
yeah.
which is pretty cool. Um,
But also, like, actually, if you're gonna try it, pull it off.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, don't just hit into your head.
yeah,
Rubbish.
honestly.
Boo. But New Zealand also, I think New Zealand are weird like England because again, they should have beaten England in their last group game.
Mhm,
Um, because I think England needed about 15 and over, with 4 wickets in hand or something ridiculous. Um, but then Glenn Phillips went for about 22 in the 18th over.
mhm,
But they have got good players. So, Darren Mitchell's kind of stopped firing recently, but he's a good enough player who'll come back. Um, Radringer is, great player as well. Lockie Ferguson. Matt Henry's had to go back because of parental leave, so maybe that will impact how they go.
mhm,
Um, but I can't, and leading into South Africa preview chat, as I've said before, I just can't see them beating South Africa. South Africa have got such a settled side. They're
mhm.
the only team unbeaten in the tournament, which you could argue they've not had the loss that they needed to, even though I guess, they tied to Afghanistan and won
Yeah,
that nonsense
technically.
Super 8.
Well, not technically, because
That's that's super over. Um, but like they've just got such a good team. Like Mark Crim's had a brilliant World Cup. Fan favorite of the pod. I'll grab his stats. So he's played 7 games, 268 runs, average of 53, strike rate of 175, and like opening a batting. That's what you want.
I don't even remember
Um,
why we like him. I'm
I think you
fine.
predicted he'd do one thing
Mhm.
and then he did the thing, and then it was like, way Markram. I think you said get Markram onto bowl in the World Test
Which,
Championship final, and then he got a wicket.
speaking of predicting, I
Yeah,
absolutely called the Australia collapse and Nissanka and Kusal Mendes to
yeah, yeah, yeah,
slap it.
yeah,
We've got the receipts. So,
yeah. Follow it up. Glenn Maxwell was unlucky in the 2023 World Cup. Um, but no, Ryan Rickleton also up there, who's also a late inclusion to this squad. He's been going well, averaging 38 again, strike rate 170. Um, They're just a Brevis, I think, in middle order. I think Brevis is the one they keep calling like a baby AB de Villiers because the way he plays.
baby AB.
But baby AB exactly. But it's their bowling. I think their batting is stacked because you've got David Miller as well. It's just it bats all the way down. But then bowling, you've got Bosch, you've got Janssen, you've got Rabada, you've got Maharaj, you've got Ngidi. Markram will also turn his arm over. Like they're just such a good team. Like, so I just don't see them slipping up. That's my feel. Unless they do what they did in 2023 whatever World Cup it was where they lost to India in the final when they should have won that game. So,
Yeah.
but they should. I feel like it's that stage where they shouldn't lose this,
Hmm.
but because they shouldn't, they probably will to England.
Yeah. But then I can't remember if it was the last T20 World Cup or ODI World
Mm.
Cup where India had gone unbeaten until the final,
Yeah,
and then
yeah, I think it was. Yeah,
Australia sort of rode their way
snatched one. Yeah,
into the final, and like they were the better team in the final and they deserved
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
like it's weird. Like every time there's a tournament, the eventual winners do have this sort of weird result earlier on,
Yeah.
and South Africa haven't had that yet. So
I mean, you could call the weird Super Over one a weird result.
yeah, maybe.
Yeah. That they managed to get over the line because that might have dictated where they would have to play in the Super Eights. They might
Yeah.
not finish top of the group and might have come against.
Or like considering how the Super Eights have been, like it's not a bad thing if they would have been in the second
Yeah.
group, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, who knows? But yeah, I think that's the thing with T20 that any one team can randomly have a blinder on a random day. And I think England did beat them in the T20 series in England last summer. I don't know. It's a bilateral series. Who cares? Um, India. Anything to think about India?
Nah, let's leave India. Just ignore them.
Three quarters of our audience. I don't know if this is controversial to say. I don't think India are quite as good as everyone was bigging them up to be before this World Cup.
Mhm.
I think they're a bit patchy.
Yeah,
Um,
like I kind of look at their team and feel like I should be more afraid of them than I am.
yeah,
But there's just something like there's no like obviously having no Kohli is a big thing, but they
yeah.
like no
No Rohit, no
yeah,
Jadeja, no Pant.
like there's just no sort of like star player that I can see. Like obviously someone
Yeah,
like Sky can just take a game away,
yeah,
but
yeah, well,
like you
for
said,
sure.
anyone can have a blinder in a T20
Yeah, exactly.
game. But like the thing
And
with
like
Rohit, Kohli, like you're they're more likely to have that blinder of a game
yeah, for sure.
because of who they are and how good they are.
Yeah,
But like, who are you confident in this India side of doing that
yeah,
consistently?
yeah. Um, you could say though they've had the loss that they were meant to have against South Africa, so maybe they've
Mhm,
had that out the way. But like I look at the game yesterday, so they played Windies basically in a quarter final yesterday, and Windies got 195, which you'd probably would say was under par for a pitch like that.
mhm,
You're probably looking more 220-ish. Um, but then bowling wise, it went right down to the last over, and I think the game was more lost. I mean, Sandro Sampson played a blinder. He didn't start the tournament, which is utterly bizarre. But no one else really did much. They dropped Pandya when he was on about four. Hold absolute dolly at cover. And that's when the run rate was up about 10 or 12s. And,
mhm.
another wicket at that point makes a massive difference. Um,
But then he only
but
finished like it is a like those
yeah, I
runs
mean,
did matter, but he only did finish on
yeah,
17 from 14. So it's
it's,
not like it's a big
yeah.
score that he
But you'd
went
then
on to
say,
get.
like, Dubé only comes in when they only need about like 15, 16, and they get it done in an over, whatever. And if he's comes in when they need about 40,
Sure.
50,
Like they're
um,
vital runs, but it's not like when England drop someone and they
oh
go
yeah,
on
and they
to
end up getting
like
like a
get
billion, yeah.
150. But
Um, but yeah, I think the basics India, I didn't watch all the game because I have a life. So for the highlights I watched, they dropped a number of catches yesterday, India, which to me is also a sign of pressure. And, this is they had to win this game.
mhm,
And when you're dropping regulation catches, that's also going to be alarm bells. But West Indies, I watched the second innings because I don't always have a life. But the West Indies bowled so many like, kind of extras towards the end against the kind of pressure and due and stuff. But there were so many overs where they bowled a wide, and then the final ball of the over goes for four. And that just kind of happened for nearly the last, I
mhm,
would say, three or four overs. So every time it felt like West Indies were like clawing it back a bit, it then got away from them. And would a team like South Africa or England
mhm,
give that kind of lifeline? Like if they hadn't have got those extra runs from the wides,
mhm.
would we be looking at a different result? Because they only won with four balls to spare.
Yeah.
So it's don't know. They've still got great players. They've got Bumrah, obviously, who can always get like 5 for 10 in a game, and they've got Axel Patel, Hardik Pandya's been experienced, like you say, Sky. But again, I don't know. It means we're casual fans and not following the IPL every single day. But it doesn't that lineup doesn't strike me with the same kind of like, fear factor as
Mhm.
a South Africa team would.
Yeah, and I think strangely going into the semis, like England, India feels like the most balanced matchup.
Yeah,
Like they've both definitely got very good players that can take the
yeah.
game away on their day,
hmm
but they're also a bit meh.
Yeah, 100%.
Like,
Yeah, like there's the
like
opening
I don't
batter.
trust either of those teams to win that semi-final.
Yeah, no, not at all. Like Abhishek Sharma, who's the opening batter for India, is for some reason ranked number one in the world. And I've watched about five of his innings this T20 World Cup, and I cannot understand why. Like he
Like
got, I think,
I
three or
swear,
four ducks to start.
I swear Phil Salt was ranked highly as well at some point
Yeah,
as
he
well. So it's
is.
like
I don't
perfect
understand.
counterparts.
Yeah, just because they will be perfect in the IPL together. Um, but it's just because openers have they'll come off like once every 10 innings and they'll get like 100 off 40 balls, but then do nothing else and get caught like first slip, first ball most of the other times. It's just bizarre. I don't understand how the rankings work, but that's ICC chat. Um, but I mean, India at home, they had the crowd, screaming every time they get a single, but then absolute deadly silence when the opposition does anything good. Like it's they'll have that kind of pressure factor. So we could very well be looking at India beating England on Wednesday or Thursday, whenever it is, but who knows? Um, I've not got much else about India chat, but I just think they're missing a player in the middle order who could really sway a game in their favor. But yeah, maybe that's me being naive. Oh well. England.
Yeah, yeah, I think we can leave England as well. Just
But the thing of England, they've they lost to Windies, but since then they've been good. They've they've managed to win in games you'd be like they've lost that. That's that's a that's a given. And it's all down to Will Jacks.
but like
It's
counterpoint, going back
go
to
on.
the New Zealand game when they
Hmm.
chose to bowl Glenn Phillips, is
Yeah.
that a combination of New Zealand throwing it away and England going at it? Like, have England actually been tested properly so that you can say they've actually been good? Because again, they've been in a group that all the other second place
Yeah.
teams went in. So have they been actually playing teams of the highest quality
I
so far?
think
Like, because
it's
they are a
tricky.
good team. Individually, they've
Hmm.
got good players, and they've proven they can get to semis consistently over the past
Yeah, I
few
think this is the
years.
fifth semi-final in a row in T20 World Cups.
Yeah. But like, how many of those have you been like, yeah, I'm sure England can get to the semis and play consistently and
It's weird, isn't it? Because they had that game against Nepal and then that game against Italy, and they all lost to West Indies, and it just felt none of those games they looked convincing. But then they've kind of gone and played, I think, all their Super Eights in Sri Lanka, where the conditions are very different from India, where they played Nepal and stuff. And they've looked such a good side in Sri Lanka, probably because they prepared for it
mm,
by playing in Sri Lanka before the World Cup, and it looks like they're good in those conditions. Like they played Dawson, Rashid, Rayan Ahmed, obviously Bethel, Jacks. I think they bowled five spinners in the last game against New Zealand because the conditions were so spin friendly. But India's not going to be like that. So you're going to have a player like Rayan who came in and did really, really well and was probably a game changer. He got two for and then 19 off of seven at the end. But then is he going to play when they go to India? And they're going to go back to Jamie Overton? And it's like it's tricky because it makes me. Are they a good team in Sri Lanka? But are they a good team in India? I guess that's also another factor, I would say.
yeah.
Um, but good teams. I mean, they beat Pakistan in a game as well. It looked like they would probably lose. Um,
But then
but
is that
mainly
not
because,
like the issue in that they look they're in games where they look like they're going to lose.
but then they find a way to win.
But like be in a position where you look like you're going to win for the whole game. Because if you're in a
but
position at like 15 overs where you're like, well,
mm,
fuck, we need something pretty good to win this. If that's consistently happening, there's going to be a game sooner or later where you're like, oh,
yeah, the rug is pulled and then suddenly
16th
it's all
over,
curtains.
we're
Yeah,
fucked properly and
yeah,
we're all out.
probably. Um, I guess there's many, yeah, many ways to skin a cat. Well, I guess there's you can always go back and forth on it. I guess another thing as well, but I'd say most of the team, apart from two who we'll talk about, I mean, probably one, have had a moment where they won a game. So you could say that everyone in the team has contributed in a way that maybe some of the other semi-final teams haven't. Like Brook got a ridiculously good 100 against Pakistan. A captain's knock and, promote himself from five to three. I think in the last pod I was like, no, we should stay at five. And obviously I was wrong. I've never been wrong in my life, but apparently I was wrong. You got to bring 100. Bethel's always kind of been consistently contributing in the power play of the bat, every now and then the ball. Banton's kind of come of age. He's got 50 and about a 30 against New Zealand, which was again almost game changing. Curran's kind of been dependable. Will Jacks has suddenly been the player of the tournament. He's got like 191 runs and seven wickets and has constantly got like 28 off 10 balls at the end to win a game. So like he's almost like the perfect finisher. So even when you're needing 50 or four overs with him in his form, you'd be like, well, they could probably do that. Dawson's be good. Jofra's been back at his pace. But I would say, is this the end for Joss? Did we ask this last time? Probably
I,
did.
I feel like we asked that last World Cup as well.
Probably. I think he's only got 150 in ICC competitions in the last three, I think. Might be three or four, whichever stat it was. He looks completely gone. But would you, if you're chief selector Luke Wright
Mhm.
for the time being,
Which, thank God, I'm not. I don't want to be
would
Luke, right?
you, I guess you still play him in the semi-final, right? Because he's Joss Butler. Or
I
do you be
think,
like, Duckett's in the squad, we could play Duckett. He's probably going to be in better form than Butler.
I don't know, because
Probably.
Butler's got the experience of being
Mm.
in semi-finals and finals and getting through them.
Yeah. Hmm.
So does that experience count for enough?
Yeah.
Like in the
Even though his
field,
eyes have gone.
yeah.
I don't know
But
because
yeah,
he looks
it's
so gone. Like there's not even. I watch him bat and I'm like, he's getting out in the first over, isn't he? And then I think he snicks off. He just doesn't look at anywhere
mhm,
ready for anything basically. And and every. I think I said this probably in the last pod and on our socials. Like this opening partnership with Salt and Butler was billed as like, oh, one of the best. And I don't think they've put beyond like 20 in this tournament together.
mhm,
Like Salt got a really good 50 against Sri Lanka last week when, again, a game they probably could have lost, but they still won. But then since then, he's got a first baller and then a second baller in the next two games. And that's just Phil Salt in a nutshell. Like he'll do you something one game and then completely vanish off the face of the earth for the next few. So you've got this opening partnership, which I feel like is the weakest of all the semi-finalists, which I think is also, like you say, there's only so many times that you can be dragged out of, you know, a perilous situation by Harry Brook getting a ridiculous 100 or Tom Banton doing something. But you can't keep being 10 for 2 and expecting to get scores of like 180.
yeah.
So I think maybe you're right in that sense, in that if that happens again, can you expect a team like, if they're up against Bumrah and Boomer's got you two for spit, and then
Mhm,
suddenly Brooks in, and then Brooks out, and then suddenly you're three down for not many at all, and that's when I feel like England start to fall apart.
yeah. I mean, the best
Yeah,
way from preventing it from happening again is to be proactive and make the change.
yeah,
Because Butler could still be influential as like a 12 man or
yeah,
like a pseudo coach in a way.
yeah. And he's not like he's the only keeper in the squad because Salt keeps, Banton keeps, Duckett used to keep. So it's not like that's the
Mhm.
prime position. It's not like the Ashes where they only had one keeper. Um, so yeah, I really don't know though. I kind of feel like has he got one innings left, and then suddenly he's able to get like a 50 in the semi to win it. Because you go back to that last World Cup where they got him and Hales chased down 180
Mhm.
to beat India. So would you want to drop Butler for an India semi-final after he did that? So I know it's 4 years ago, but I don't know.
It,
It's tricky.
it, yeah, like you have to make the best call long term, and I say long
Yeah,
term in terms of the next two games for
yeah,
England. Because if
yeah,
this was just a one-off, I think you could probably maybe get away with it. Maybe be like, this could be his day. He's going to
yeah,
show up for this. But you need to get through two games to do that. Like,
yeah,
if he does it in the semi-final and then goes back to the this World Cup's norm in the final, then England are in a precarious position again and
yeah,
playing against the other team that have will most likely be more deserving of winning the World Cup than England.
yeah,
But
yeah. Oh, I don't know.
yeah, I think you've convinced me. I drop him.
But I think what it probably boils down to is if this was any other player, they would be dropped.
Yeah.
But because it's Butler, they've not dropped him because it's Josh Butler, and he's probably the best white ball player for England has been, I'd say, probably until another player does something special.
Mm. Would you
So
not,
I think
like, slight segue, but would you not say Owen Morgan above him for his leadership as well, if not
I
necessarily for his ability?
I think still ability wise, but I mean
Or even then, Kevin Peterson, he was pretty good.
it's pretty he's all right, wasn't he?
Yeah,
He did a job every now and then.
yeah.
Um,
Bit of a knob though, isn't he?
yeah. Um,
So we're not getting KP or Luke Wright on the podcast anytime soon.
probably not. Monty's always available. Um,
I think we're more likely to get old Kev on.
oh, Kev. I think Butler is probably England's best white ball player. I think Morgan is probably second, along with KP. Um,
And then
but I
Ravi
mean, the way
Bopara.
and Ravi, obviously, that's what England needed in the middle overs, a bit of Ravchik. Um, but I think I would probably still stick with him, which is probably a cowardly ECB choice. Um,
I agree, it is
because
cowardly.
yeah, but I mean, you're then picking Duckett, who hasn't played any cricket in this tournament. I mean, they practice all the time anyway. Probably that comes off. You could make an argument, right? Rayan opened in Sri Lanka before this, so maybe you could put Rayan up the order. Given what he did the other day, is that too crazy to say? I'd say probably no.
Well, I'm pretty sure Banton's opened county
Banton's opened, yeah, you're
levels.
completely
Like,
right, yeah. And I think Banton's probably a better fit to open in the T20 side. I think long term.
yeah, I think the only issue
Um,
there is you have your two potential keepers opening, but like Butler's
I mean, Butler opens
doing,
anyway.
like, yeah, but it's like, who do you choose to keep and then potentially
Yeah.
have a dip in form with the bat from those two?
Yeah, and then Banton's done well at 4 or 5 in the
Yeah.
tournament, so is you're taking him out of a position where he's excelled. I don't know.
Or does like Brooke step up and have a like captain's
Yeah, and be flexible again,
vibe? Yeah.
or someone like Curran, like just
Nah, that's too much.
or Jamie Overton,
Jofra,
Joffa, and also make him captain.
yeah.
Um,
I mean, you're
we'll
saying it
see.
now, so like,
Might as well this day.
I'm not even
Um,
saying it. Like, we've got to the point in the joke where you want it to happen, and I couldn't
once
be
it can
happier.
happen once.
That's all it
Um,
needs. That's all we need it to be. He only needs to captain once, and then he's
and then
been
the
England
podcast
captain.
ends. Um, but yeah, I mean Butler's definitely done after this tournament anyway, so I feel like they'll stick with him. But then in the future, then maybe you can go Banton and Ray and Ahmed at 5. I think it's what I maybe said the other day. Because I want Rayan in his team. I think he deserves a chance to team, especially because he won the game the other day, and it just makes me annoyed knowing that they're going to drop him.
Yeah, it's weird to have a match winner one day and then not in the
Yeah,
team the
and
other.
then suddenly
It's
you're just
just
picking Jamie Overton. Like, no, I want Rayan Ahmed,
yeah.
please. Um, so that is annoying. Right. Shall we do some quick fire cricket news?
Sure,
Um,
I've got nothing else to do,
no. Um, there was a lot of hundred drama. Do you see that?
obviously, but like, why don't you tell the listeners about it and get them caught up on it?
They want to know. They want to know. Obviously, it was like put out there by some journalists. I think it was our friends at Telegraph, probably.
Oh, I think I do know this actually.
Yeah, where it sounds like the Indian-run 100 teams were not going to be bidding for Pakistani players, which is a violation of the regulations of the 100 and just, sport in this country. ECB and all 100 teams have come out and said, "Oh no, it'll be fine." I don't think it is going to be fine.
Uh,
Because with these tournaments it's an auction, so they can just say we don't want to bid for that player because they're not
mm,
what the player we needed. How
yeah,
can you really, unless you force them to bid for a Pakistani player? It's kind of getting a bit messy, you could say.
yeah. Well, like, there's this thing in American football. I'm not sure if it's still active, but there's the
Mm,
Rooney Rule, where
yeah,
teams have to like interview coaches of like black coaches or
yeah,
Asian coaches,
yeah,
which I'm not necessarily sure is the right way to go about it, but it's with the right sort of intention,
yeah.
I
I know what you
guess.
mean.
But like maybe they could introduce that sort of thing where like you,
Yeah,
but it's difficult. Like, you can hardly be like you have to bid on
yeah.
these players.
Because
But
you could quite rightly say, like, I don't want Babar Azam in this team because I don't think, because
yeah,
genuinely I don't think Babar Azam is a good T20 player or
mm,
whatever format you're playing. Like, you can see how they're going to spin it. That's it's there's no way that they can get around it. I mean, it will look suspicious, but they'll just say we bid for this player instead because we think they're the better
hmm
player. You can't prove it, so it's
yeah,
yeah, it's almost like it's a mess and it shouldn't
yeah,
have been happened in the first place.
yeah. Like maybe the ECB should have been on that and like not allowed other countries to own
Would have been
like
funny.
actual
Would have been good.
counties clubs.
But,
Like it's a
with actual
bit,
history and
it's
heritage. Yeah,
slightly different with football clubs because they're not like an actual county-based
yeah,
club. Like they're uh, actual companies and
yeah.
that. But like I don't know. I'm not. Uh, yeah, it's all
Mess. We could say.
it's stupid.
In other Pakistan news. I've only just seen this headline, but I thought I'd add it to quick fire news. The PCB has fined Pakistan players for an underwhelming T20 World Cup.
That's weird. I've also seen this. I don't know.
Have you?
Yeah,
Oh, I just saw it. So yeah, Pakistan players have been fined
for being
the
shit.
equivalent of $18,000 each because they didn't reach semi-finals of the ICC men's event. They were initially told of the disciplinary when they lost to India, but they said it would be waived if they got to the semis, which they haven't. So now they're going to be charged, $18,000 each. That seems a bit.
So is this a an actual fine, or is it like they're just not getting the bonus they would have got
No, it's a
from?
fine, but
Okay,
which they have to pay. Yeah.
because I
Um,
remember like Shaheen in a press conference
mhm.
saying like talking a little bit of smack. It might have been like tongue in cheek
Yeah.
smack about Baba,
Yeah.
but like I don't know if that's just like a mate
Yeah.
just like
So
taking the piss out of another mate, but it was a
yeah, I
bit,
mean,
it was maybe like I can't remember what he said exactly, but it was a bit
yeah.
spicier than he needed it to be.
The spicy's good. Do like the spiciness. I mean, this is from Quick Info, so it's saying the PCB has come down hard on players in the past. Those sanctions have generally been framed as disciplinary. ESPN Quick Info has learned there was no disciplinary issues within the team throughout the tournament, and the fines have been levied specifically, and the fines have been issued specifically for the quality of their on-field performances.
Mhm.
And it makes the sanctions handled out by PCB particularly rare and unprecedented. It's kind of mad, isn't it, though? It's like you're crap. Here's a fine.
I think it's also fair.
But is it? I think in the circumstances they finished the same number of points as New Zealand, but just because net run rate didn't go through.
I don't know. I
It's
think if you want to like grow an environment of like elite mentality,
yeah,
there's only so much that players at this level will like feel the consequences of.
I suppose so.
And
Yeah.
money is definitely one of
Their
them,
pockets.
whether
Yeah.
it should be because they're still earning buttloads.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
what uh, Shaheen said. So the question was, Baba was building a partnership, but after he got out, Shaheen responded with, a partnership means you need someone to hit boundaries and rotate strike. In T20, you need 8 runs over.
Yeah.
Which is,
That's a dig. I mean, Babar Azam
yeah,
is useless,
yeah,
but
like
to
he
be
has been crap, but
yeah.
did she need to say that, Shaheen? Like,
He's right.
he's he's not wrong, but do you like say that in the post-match
Probably not.
interview when you're on the pitch?
Yeah,
Like,
maybe not. Maybe not. But it's funny though.
it is a bit funny, and I don't think that that and the fines are unrelated.
No. Yeah.
Because like you say there's been no like disagreements or fallout within the
Yeah.
dressing room.
Yeah.
Has there the like
Yeah. Well,
like
oh
that
gosh.
came from like I assume the Pakistan board briefing.
But could like do Pakistan deserve a bit of like slack cut? Because, they came into this tournament thinking that they weren't going to be playing India. So
Bangladesh.
they're huh?
If we're like I don't know, Bangladesh weren't cut any slack. So
But Bangladesh haven't been fined by their board.
no, they were just like not allowed to play in the tournament.
But that's not their board.
No, but it's like I don't know, it's a different thing entirely, isn't it? But it's
I was going to say that I think Pakistan's preparation has been like, are we even going to play in this tournament? Are we going to play? We're not playing this game. Or we are playing this game. They're going trying back and forth between these decisions, which are happening way above them. Can you prepare in the best way when that's all going on? I don't also think they're as good a T20 side as any of the
mhm.
semi-finalists. I think, but I don't know. I mean, sad for Bangladesh. I do agree,
Yeah, I don't know what relevance it really had.
but Bangladesh,
I still feel salty about it.
yeah, yeah, I feel salty. Um, Last bit of cricket news.
Mhm.
Australia women. Elise Healy played her last ODI game for Australia yesterday when Australia beat India by 185 runs.
That's weird. I've
Uh,
also seen this. I don't know
you
what's
seen this?
happening.
You know the cricket news. But Elise Healy got 158 in her final ODI game for Australia,
Yeah,
finishing her on 126 matches, average of 37 and 3,770 runs, highest of 170, which is pretty good at a strike rate
mhm,
over 100
yeah,
too. So one of the goats of the women's
mhm,
game for sure.
yeah. I saw a funny stat. I think it was comparing Mitchell Stark's and Alyssa Healy's like distance run for bowling
Yeah.
during their careers, and like Stark was on 700 meters or whatever, and Alyssa Healy was
Yeah.
on like 20. It was just very like that was an official stat that came up in the
Yeah.
broadcast. It was just
Nice.
really funny.
It was nice to see because she had a random bowl yesterday 'cause she obviously she's a keeper, and then she just bowled an absolutely rank long hopper first ball, and Stark was on commentary. And it's just like, yeah, it's not so easy, is it? Like, which is great. It's annoying. I really like Stark. So yeah. Um, but yeah, one of the greats. I think they've still got a test match to play. So all to play for in that series actually, because India won the T20s, Australia won the ODIs, and then a test match I think will be the decider of the overall, which is pretty cool. Um, but yeah, I think that's it for cricket news.
Well,
Actual season
unless
starts
you,
soon. Go on.
yeah, unless you count like a K-pop gig in Belfast as cricket news.
What?
No. Um, Organizers defend K-pop gig after angry backlash
Oh
over horrendous
yeah,
concert. Yeah, okay.
I have seen that.
So you've seen the not crick news and I've seen the crick news, which is
Yeah,
weird. So there was this K-pop concert, like a tribute concert held in Belfast,
yeah,
and there was a lot of backlash from parents because
yeah.
it was either a bit shit, they thought it would be K-pop Demon
Demon Hunters.
Hunters,
Yeah,
and because it was a bit racy, which
yeah.
fucking news alert, that's K-pop. Like, the biggest
Yeah.
appeal of K-pop is sex appeal. I think there's a quote from one of the parents was like,
Oh, dread to think.
"Oh." that she didn't even know K-pop was a genre in
Of
itself.
course they
It's like,
don't. Yeah,
yeah,
like
like obviously
filthy
they,
casuals. Like they, because like there's the same with like anything. Like comes like oh, when I worked Harry Potter stuff, it's just like they see a thing being like, oh, this big brand, K-pop. K-pop was obviously K-pop Demon Hunters. Never that could never have been
yeah,
anything else. And they go along to this thing, be like, what? I can't believe that there's a whole other like genre of music that isn't just this film. I'm disgusted.
yeah, it's just it's so stupid. And like it's just the ignorance of it.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
like
That's the word.
yeah, I just thought it was funny
It
because
is funny. Yeah, it's funny. It's I love it when people are just stupid and they can't take 2 seconds to actually look at the thing they're buying. They
yeah,
just see
like look
K-pop and
through
think
the
that yeah,
details. Like I know
yeah,
Demon Hunters was pretty big
yeah,
over like Christmas or whenever it came out, but
yeah, yeah.
like actually read the details of what you're
People,
going to
yeah,
see and like maybe Google just K-pop because at no
yeah,
point was it like advertised as K-pop Demon Hunters. It was a K-pop
yeah,
tribute
yeah,
concept. Like I think the
yeah.
poster is a bit Demon Huntery,
I
towing the
mean,
line between
you
like
can kind
copyright, but and
you can kind of understand because they're trying to like they're also appealing to the idiots to be like, look at this, this is cool. Like, I've worked in
Mhm.
tourist attractions where which 100% do the same thing. Where it's like they're definitely towing the line and being like, we're gonna vaguely advertise this thing which you can interpret to be this, but we never tell you it's this. But oh, you thought it's that. We didn't tell you it. But they've kind of been like, but look at this imagery.
Yeah,
This could be something else.
yeah, and like they're obviously like hoping the hype of the movie
Yeah,
will
which you will, yeah.
push consumers, and like obviously it did.
Hmm.
Yeah,
It is funny.
it is funny,
It is funny.
but
Yeah. I hope they don't get any refunds.
like they fucking shouldn't.
No.
But like there's also like people that actually enjoyed it. So
Probably actual K-pop fans.
I mean, maybe
Because it's got to be
like
so annoying, isn't it? When you're, and if you're actually really fan, I don't know who was playing, if it was a festival or whatever. If you're a fan of that, let's say it's a random artist, like if you're a fan of that particular artist and you go and you've just got some like wailing like child and like mum next to you who've just come for K-pop Demon Hunters, isn't that the most like aggravating, annoying thing? Like I'm here to watch my
especially
actual thing.
or like for the performers as well. It's
Yeah,
like why? What's going on? What have I done wrong?
yeah, 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 yeah. Please, I'm trying my best.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's ignorant and annoying, but any more of those, I'll happily have a look. Have you watched K-pop Demon Hunters yet?
Uh, nah.
Maybe one day we'll have a reaction episode to K-pop Demon Hunters. I doubt it.
Yeah,
Um,
no, I doubt it. I'm not into K-pop really, and I'm not sure. I don't know if I'd consider K-pop Demon Hunters K-pop because it's.
I don't
I
think
know
it is.
it's written by a lot of Asian people and Koreans, and
Hmm.
a lot of the production is like Asian people working on it,
Yeah,
but it's still an American production totally. So
yeah,
is it like
yeah.
because anime
Yeah,
is not considered like anime is considered anime because it's a Japanese production.
yeah.
Whereas if you look at like the Last Airbender, many people would call that anime, but it's not
Hmm.
because it's an American show. But then
Yeah,
are we just like splitting hairs over a word that just means animation?
yeah,
Like
yeah,
it,
yeah. No, I agree.
I say
It's
we, I mean me.
you. No, but I think that's fair. Um, but yeah, so next episode, K-pop Demon Hunters.
Sure. And then Rise of Skywalker.
I never watched it. I don't intend to.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Um,
Don't just.
I think that's it.
Hmm,
Joss Butler's done. Cricket. I would say cricket season starting soon, next month, which is exciting.
mhm.
If you are listening, if you managed to listen this far and you would like to play some cricket and you're in London, we have the Wicket Whippets, which is our own little wee team. If you fancy a cheeky game or cheeky hit around, have a go. Get involved. Drop us a DM, as they say. Um, you excited for cricket, Jamie?
Sure. Yeah, that's
Let's go. And I don't know when we'll next be back because you're off to Japan next week. Maybe we'll review the semi-finals. Don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows?
Um, we said we were going to review more of the Super 8s or whatever, but we didn't. So you shouldn't ever trust our word. So
Or like, do trust our word and then be disappointed. But
yeah,
that's up to you. I don't think
yeah,
we should tell people
yeah,
how
we'll
to
just
approach our
appear.
podcast. We should just
Yeah,
like,
I think keep them on toes. So are they going to be here every Sunday? No. Oh, they're here on a Thursday. Why? I think yeah, it keeps up the intrigue. But yeah, if you do want to follow us,
oh, is that my turn?
yeah,
Is that my cue?
that's your moment to
You
shine.
usually give it a bit more.
Where can they find us, Jamie?
Okay. Thank you. I was waiting for the
Jamie.
sentence to start with the punctuation mark. Just not CrickPod. Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, YouTube, podcast places.
All podcast places. Hooray.
Maybe not all podcast places,
Yeah. And if you
but
have seen
like most of
K-pop,
them,
sorry, go on.
like the good ones.
Yeah. Yeah, some of them. Um, but yeah, if you have seen K-pop Demon Hunters, just reply yes or no in the comments. Thanks.
Just
Um,
yes or no, no context.
yeah, exactly. That's all we need.
Or like
Um,
yes and way on.
yeah. Wait on. Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I can't wait to see the many, many comments we
Mhm.
get.
Like
Um,
how many K-pop artists do you think you can name?
none.
Fucking amateur.
Can you name any?
I could name like five, maybe. I don't listen to
Very good.
any. But like
Yeah.
Rose, she's been in the charts recently with the Bruno Mars song.
Oh, with
Apata
Apata,
Pata. Yeah.
Apata, Apata. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's
Okay.
in
Is she a K-pop artist then?
yeah, she's a K-pop artist. She's in Blackpink, but
Okay.
she's New Zealand-y-ish.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah, which is
Interesting.
interesting. You've got Baby Monster. You've got BTS.
Oh, I do know BTS. Yeah, maybe I do love
Yeah.
K-pop.
Yeah, if you've heard of BTS, then you're into K-pop.
Yeah.
Um, aespa, if that's how you say it, but
Don't know.
um, I'm out. Yeah,
Linkin Park.
yeah. I think Linkin Park counts. Green Day,
Nice.
Radiohead.
Take that.
Yeah,
I do love K-pop. Okay, cool. Well, we'll be back at some point soon, either before Japan or after Japan for Jamie. Um, just wait and find out.